Welcome in, belly up, have a seat, and grab a drink as we talk some Wingman fantasy football. Welcome into another edition of Wingman Fantasy Football, the League Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Furley, and as always, I'd like to thank all of you, or any of you who may be watching or listening to today's show. This is episode 64, week 9 ins and outs, and before we get any further along, let's make sure that everybody is in the room.
Wingmen assemble!
All right, now that everyone is here, let's set the stage for today's games. We have 4 teams on bye this week as the Denver Broncos, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the San Francisco 49ers are all off this week. Now let's check in on our IR list as this list keeps growing longer and longer. We had 2 new players added to this list this week as Darren Waller and Tyrod Taylor, both of the Giants, were placed on IR this weekend, and they're going to miss a minimum of 4 weeks. As for players who have already been on IR and their week count is getting shorter and shorter, we have Zach Ertz and Dawson Knox, both 3 more games before they are eligible to return as they are on the IR, as is Greg Dulcich and Pat Freiermuth have 2 weeks before they are eligible to return, or 2 games rather. Kyron Williams and Ronnie Rivers, both of the Rams, have 2 weeks before they are eligible to return. And now we're getting to our last game out, guys. We have Justin Jefferson, Devon Achane, Khalil Herbert, and James Conner. A nice batch of players have only 1 more week that they have to sit before they are eligible to return, and that is today. So these players will be eligible to return for next week, pending their health, of course. Justin Jefferson right now is not guaranteed to make that return, but he will be eligible to do so. As for players that are out today, actually, pardon me, let's find out who's in or out, who's hurt or not in this week's Actives Inactives. As for players that are out today, Matthew Stafford is not going to play. He is inactive, and this is big news for both They Took Our Jobs and Amazing Spidey, as both of these managers are going to sit their Rams receivers due to this news. They Took Our Jobs is going to sit Cooper Kupp, and Amazing Spidey is going to sit Puka Nacua. Dameon Pierce, newly acquired running back from the Houston Texans for Tampa Brady, is inactive this week and not going to play. We have Kyler Murray, has not been activated from the PUP list despite him practicing. So he has until 4 p.m. next Saturday to be activated from the PUP list, or he is going to miss the remainder of the season. So either he's playing next week or he's done for the year, essentially. So I expect him to play, being that he's been practicing, but it's still going to be 5 days or so to figure out exactly the status of Kyler Murray going forward. Josh Palmer has already been ruled out for Monday night's game for the Chargers. Robert Woods is out for Houston. Amari DeMarcado, who keeps getting picked up, dropped, played, not played, is actually going to be out this week. Curtis Samuel for the Commanders is not going to play, and Drake London is also out for Atlanta. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was inactive this morning for Kansas City, and Justin Fields has begun practicing, but he is not going to make his return this week. They are eyeing a Week 10 return for Justin Fields. As for players that are questionable today or game time decisions, Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts wide receiver of the King George's team, is expected to play, but really does need to go through warmups to test himself out to see if he's able to do so, but he is trending towards playing. His game's at 4 o'clock today. As for players making their return or who are going to play, Deshaun Watson is going to play today, making his return. Daniel Jones is making his return from injury, and he's going to start today. Gerald Everett's expected to play. Puka Nacua is active. Aaron Jones is active. Michael Thomas is going to play, and Jerome Ford is battling, and he is going to play today. All right, guys, there were no games that had any weather concerns that caught my attention. I also want to remind you to check out our wingmanentertainment.net/game day. These Sunday mornings, you're going to get your quick Twitter feeds from prominent reporters and NFL outlets, plus the news section on the center of that page. The inactive list will show you in real time players as they are deemed inactive, approximately 90 minutes before their kickoff. All right. With that being said, don't forget you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and TuneIn Radio. Just search Wingman the League on those platforms. You can also find all of our content on wingmanentertainment.net. And we are now on YouTube. Just go ahead and search youtube.com/@wingmanfantasyfootball to get all of our content there in video form. I'd like to thank our 3 subscribers from this week. We have Zoe, Austin, and Keith. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I suggest anyone who wants to find our content on that platform to please subscribe because it is hard to search new shows on that platform. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching and or listening. And may your glasses be full, your mug stay frosty, and we will see you next time.